Yoga with Shanique, Befriending OCD and Anxiety. In today's practice, we'll be doing 25 minutes of Yin Yoga. You'll need a couple of blocks or a pillow to get comfortable. And when you're ready, find a comfortable seated position. Option to place a block or a pillow underneath you so that you can elevate to your hips. And then rest your hands over your knees or thighs. Roll your shoulders back. Cross your ankles or stagger the ankles one in front of the other. Maybe loosen up a little bit. Just let your head or let your ear fall from shoulder to shoulder. And then we'll take 3 deep breaths here. So exhale everything out. Inhale. Breathing in through your nose. Feel expansion in your rib cage, and exhale. Feel the compression in the rib cage as you let everything go. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. And then at the bottom of your exhale, inhale will come into toe squat or toe stand. So come onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes, and then sit your bum over your heels. Now this can get pretty intense pretty fast. So if you want, you can place a block underneath the hips, between the hips and the lower part of your ankle. And then do your best here to release tension in your body. Again, we're embracing uncertainty with the stillness. So whatever comes up here, allow it to be. You're just noticing it. And if you need to adjust, also listen to the messages from your body and take those cues. You can either lean forward if you need to. You can always come out of the posture, but typically we stay here for a minute. Instead of focusing on how uncomfortable this posture can be, we are going to focus on just breathing as smoothly, as softly, and as slowly as possible. And if there is tension that seems like it just won't go away, just take note of where it is in your body. And that's it. Let the tension be there. Inhale, come into tabletop, and exhale, pitter-patter your legs. Untuck your toes, tap the tops of the feet on your mat. Let that go. And then on the next inhale, we'll come into a ankle stretch. So you will sit again over your heels. But this time, instead of tucking the toes, we'll leave them untucked and then lift the knees just slightly off the ground. You may place a block underneath your knees. And then watch your spine, watch for any slouching in the shoulders. Try to keep the ears over your shoulders, shoulders over hips. And relax the tension in your pelvic floor as much as you can while you're still sitting up. And this is just going to be for 30 seconds. So you can come out soon. And then inhale, tabletop, and pitter-patter your legs to let that go. Maybe even side out. Okay. Inhale, come to a seat. And exhale, we'll prepare for Janu Shirshasana. So you'll bring your right heel in towards your groin and extend your left leg long. Option for a side stretch as you reach over to your right side and then reach over to your left. And then take your blocks. I only have 2 here. I'm going to buy more, but we're in the midst of a move, so I only have 2. But if you have 4, you can set it up as a bridge over your leg. But if you have 2, you can just place one on the tallest height and the other one on the lowest height. That's usually a good amount for me, or you can play around with adjusting it. And then you'll bring your forehead to your blocks. They're on the inside of your left leg. And then as you fold forward, you can let your spine round a bit Because what we want to do here is, again, release all and any tension in the body. We don't want to hold any muscular tension if possible. And so that's why some of us may need like a bigger bolster pillow. We may need more props. I will definitely revisit this practice with more props once we move, but get comfortable in the uncomfortable, right? As much as we can here. The third eye to the blocks can stimulate the vagus nerve, and it's kind of bring some relief to your nervous system. So that's really good here. And then your left foot or ankle is relaxed. So sometimes we flex the toes towards us. We don't need to do that here. We're finding as much relaxation as possible. Inhale, slowly start to walk your hands back so you can sit up in your seat. And then exhale, Janu Shirshasana on the other side. So now this time your right leg comes in and your left heel comes in and your right leg is straight. Take a side body stretch here if you like by leaning to your left and then your right, and then set up your blocks over your right leg and prepare to fold. Inhale, exhale, fold forward and find your forehead on top of those blocks as you let your spine round a bit and you relax your arms and hopefully your total body. But sometimes it takes time. And so as you are holding in this posture, as you continue to notice the tension that you carry, then your body can become more aware here and go, oh, I don't have to carry this tension. I can let go. And so it's through the time and through the stillness that it allows the body to release a little bit more. Now, this is just a shortened version of yin as well. So usually these postures are held for longer, like 2 to 5 minutes. I did a short 25-minute yin class that has all of the postures that I do whenever I feel like my nervous system is completely just wired, or I feel like I am starting to feel a obsessive cycle happening. So I wanted to share these with you so you can just kind of have this yin yoga teaser. But if any of these postures feel really, really good, you can always hold them a lot longer and pause this video if you like. So next, inhale, come up to a seat again, and then exhale, we'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. So you'll have to adjust your blocks to the level that you need them. Some might only need one block, some might need two or three or four. So it just really depends on where you can let your forehead rest on the block and feel like you are not tensing your muscles or having to use tension to hold here. We want to emphasize the relaxation. Again, we are only holding for about a minute or so. So we won't be getting as far into the fascia, but it is enough to release tension and kind of reset your nervous system, which are two of the goals that I have for this class for you. And so hopefully you are starting to feel that, especially in the back line of your body. Typically we sit a lot, and so really stretching the back line of the body is a great step to releasing some of the things that accumulate from sitting so much. Inhale, slowly rise back up to your seat. And then exhale, we'll come into a forward fold with the legs about hip width apart. And this distance should allow enough space to put one of the blocks on the tallest height between your shins, and then another block or two on top for your forehead. Option 2, inhale and prepare to fold, and exhale, folding forward. Relax your arms. And again, we are releasing the back line of the body. which also typically needs to be strengthened, which will be in another class. But um, stretching the back line is kind of a prerequisite before we can strengthen. And I definitely learned that in my physical therapy um, exercises as well. So lots of good things happening here, even if it seems like not much is happening at all. And as you notice your thoughts, see just how much you fight uncertainty. How much do you try to know, and how uncomfortable does it feel when it feels like the answer is I don't know? Can we sit more with the I don't knows? Inhale, come up to a seat, and exhale. We'll do a Baddha Konasana, or I also know this as butterfly legs, but you'll bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open out to the side. Now, if you have a few blocks, like 4 here, you can place 1 block underneath each knee. If you don't have 4 blocks, you could even use like a pillow cushion from your sofa if you need that extra support underneath those knees. And then inhale, find length, and exhale, fold forward over your blocks. It's less about how far you go in these postures and more about how much you can become in tune with your body and your mind, and how much you can scan from your toes to your feet, your ankles, through your legs and your hips, groin, belly, bum, back, stomach, chest, shoulders, fingers, arms, neck, even your jaw. If you notice you're clenching your teeth, can you mock a yawn and let that go? What about your eyes? Do you need to squint and then release? Or the eyebrows, do they tend to furrow in? Can they relax? Inhale, slowly rise up to a seat once more. And exhale, you can shake out your legs. You can add a little bit of movement, especially since we've been so still. You can windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Let the knees fall right and left. And then inhale, bend your knees, scoot your bottom forward. And exhale, roll onto your back and come down into a laying down position. Take a moment to inhale and goalpost your arms out to the side on the floor, and then exhale, let your chin just kind of roll from shoulder to shoulder, releasing the neck. We could even add like a supine cat-cow. Inhale, tilting the pelvis into the mat, lifting the chest, and exhale, gently pushing the sacrum in, not too much, just a little, very, very slightly. But we're coming into a bridge. So inhale, supported bridge, place the block underneath your hips. You can leave your knees bent. Sometimes when we open the front of the body, we notice that maybe one side is harder than the other. I know for myself included, opening the front of the body, it stimulates the nervous system at times and energizes it, which makes it very, very challenging to be here. There's a lot of discomfort for me. So if you feel the same in these postures as well, I want you to know that it's okay for that discomfort to be here. You are not doing anything wrong. You don't need to look a certain way or do any more. This is where your body is at. And this is enough to open the front of your body and just start to have that conversation with it. If you haven't already, you can start to straighten one leg or the other or both. So first I will straighten the left leg. Maybe stay for like 30 seconds. I'll let you know when to switch. But it can be even more intense once you straighten that leg. And so inhale, coming to center, or excuse me, inhale, bending that left knee, and exhale, straightening the right leg. Where has your breath gone? When you do back bends, do you start to hold it? It's completely normal, but it's important to be aware so that you can try and deepen the breath once more. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, bend the right knee, and exhale, option to straighten both of your legs. And so as you can see here, I will not be holding that very long. It's just a little bit too stimulating, but I wanted to offer that in case it feels good for somebody else. And then when you're ready to come out, inhale, bend the knees, press into the heels, lift the hips off the block, and exhale, move the block to the side and roll onto your back. Inhale, supported fish. You can come up to a seat first and then place one block on the medium height between your shoulder blades and the second block behind your head. I wanted an extra hip opener here, so option to go into Baddha Konasana, bound angle legs, so bringing the soles of the feet together, let the knees open wide, or you can keep your legs straight or bent. What's nice here is that there really are a lot of options. Where can you find not just peace and calm, but that connection to your body? Not necessarily filtering the messages your body is giving you, but allowing them to be there and just calmly having a gentle conversation with it. Maybe there's certain areas of your body that it's saying, hey, pay attention to me. I need more support. Something's going on. Please slow down. Please let go of being busy. Option to goalpost your arms out to the side. This does add a level of intensity, in my opinion. So again, just adjusting as needed. We don't necessarily want to go away from intensity or discomfort here, of course. However, if it's to the point where you are holding your breath and you feel like you can no longer breathe, that's a sign that you may need to back off just a little bit. Inhale, allow yourself to come up enough to place the blocks to the side, and then exhale, lay on your back, and you can rock from side to side for a moment. Before you inhale, prepare for supine twist. So continue to hug your right knee in and exhale. Let that right knee twist over to the left or fall over to the left side. I do like to bend the bottom knee. However, if you do want a stretch in the front of your left hip more, you can leave it straight. It's just find that balance between where you're able to find relaxation with a gentle stretch. Okay? And sometimes we're not always sure. Sometimes it'll take many times of doing a certain practice, certain poses, before we really start to be able to hone in on communicating with our bodies and our minds and getting them in sync. You can let your chin roll to your right shoulder. You are not stuck in this pose, so keep adjusting as needed until you feel comfortable enough to find that stillness. And then inhale, inhale, find center, release the right leg. Exhale, hug the left knee in. And inhale, supine twist over to the other side. So left knee over to your right, chin to your left shoulder. Find the option that suits you best, allowing the body to melt towards your mat. You can have the eyes closed. Release any tension in your pelvic floor, maybe even in the inner thighs. And if you feel like any intrusive thoughts or obsessions are happening here, try to bring your awareness back to what you're doing, staying in the present moment, just breathing and being. That's all we're doing here. That's enough. You are enough. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. Your mind is just wired differently. It's a bit more sensitive to the stimulus around, and it's just trying to keep you safe. It's trying to protect you. Slowly come back to center. Hug your knees in. You can give yourself a hug here by drawing the forehead to the knees before you rock back and forth a few times and come up into a seat. Once you're in a seat, come on to your hands and knees next. Inhale and exhale, child's pose. Bring the knees as wide as your mat. Big toes touch, forehead on your block, and let your arms rest at the sides, or rather, reach your arms forward and let your elbows rest on your mat. Allow the third eye center, the spot between the eyebrows, to sink in a little bit more to the block. And just feel the awareness of this spot here as you let go. Letting go mentally, letting go physically, realizing that you can handle this, you can be here, and you can create a sense of safety to help nourish and soothe your nervous system. We'll be here for another few moments. Observe what passes through your mind. Begin to slowly move your body and inhale. Option 2, rise up to a seat, or if you need a little side body stretch, you can do side body, or you can do child's pose with a side body stretch. So that's what you'll see me doing here. And you can just add any other movements that might feel good here to you at the end of your practice as you prepare to transition back into your day. Once seated, option 2, bring the palms together. You can bring them to your third eye center, spot between your eyebrows. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this helps bring a little bit of calm into your life and your mind. See you next time. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need a little calm today. See you next time.